Hi, I want to show you a fun technique that you can do with your Stampin' Up! Embosslets. This is the Beautiful Wings embosslet from the Occasions mini catalog, which I absolutely love. And the cool thing about these embosslets is that they not only cut out the butterflies, but they also emboss them. All these little dots and these little curly cues, these are all embossed patterns. And so when you do this on designer series paper, there are a couple special things that you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. You put your paper in here. When you use the embosslets, I like to make sure that the paper doesn't go past those dots there, because what happens is if you get your paper all the way up to the hinge here, let's see, all the way up to the hinge here, and then you put this through a whole bunch of times through your Big Shot, it's really pretty hard on the hinge. And so what I do is I use those little dots as a guide to make sure that when I close up my embosslet, I can still see the light of day through those little holes at least a little bit, and then I know that my paper is not too far up against the hinge. The other thing to know about these is that they say right on them, place this side down. So if you can read those words when you're putting it through your Big Shot, that means you're not doing it right. So you're going to go ahead and put that side down. If you can't see the words, you know you're good, and then this goes through the Big Shot. Okay, this is like the Big Shot close-up here. The Big Shot comes with a multi-purpose pad which has these flaps on it, and if you forget which one's which, you can always read right on the directions here. They're printed on the machine, on the multi-purpose pad itself. You're going to use your cutting pads with tab 1, and so these clear cutting pads, you're going to place your thing on there. Remember, if you can read the words that say this side down, you should turn it over. And go ahead and place your sizzlet or your embosslet between those two layers, and then go ahead and crank that all the way through. Let's see. Whoa! It's not an earthquake, it's just me whacking the camera. Okay. Oh, more hitting the camera. Alright, so when you pull it through the other side, you open up your embosslet and can kind of see how the design is on those. Now, before taking it out of here, I'm going to show you what to do next to do this cool textured butterflies technique. And I'm going to take my sanding block, which is the Stampin' Up! It's a foam based sanding block. You can see it's squishy. And I'm going to very gently go ahead and run my sanding block across here. And as you can see, all of the high points, so everything that's been embossed, is getting sanded along the edges, because it's taking off the top printing layer of the paper and letting the pristine white core show through. And this paper is great for this technique because it's got a real strong sort of neutrally background, and then the white shows up really well. If you do this on the light colored designer series paper, it doesn't show up quite as well. And let's see, I'm gonna get a little more on my butterflies there, a little more on the edge there. And when you're happy with how they're sanded, then you can go ahead and pop these off. And sometimes I find that I need to use my pokey tool, otherwise known as a oh gosh, I called the pokey tool so much I can't remember the real name all of a sudden. Paper piercing tool. There you go. Sometimes I can just use my paper piercing tool to stick a little nudge in there and then pry these up. Okay, there you go. So now you can see how our butterfly has these really pretty white swirls showing. So it really helps to accent. And then you can go ahead and use these on a card. This is one of the cards from my Big Shot of the Month Club in March. And it uses the Messages for Mom stamp set. And then it also uses this cool buckle concept. So you're going to use designer series paper to make a buckle, punch a hole here, and then your button goes through and secures, your brad goes through and secures. And then we use our fabulous sanded butterflies here as little tiny accents with the Messages for Mom stamp set. So, and you can see that this is the Messages for Mom stamp set, but it actually doesn't use the mom word. So, I mean, you can send that card to pretty much everyone. Well, anyone who's wonderful in every way, I guess. But this is a really fun textured butterflies technique, and if you're interested in the Big Shot Die of the Month Club, you can get more information on my website.